top 5. I'm here at the location, Poker Tent 500 Club, live in stereo and HD, giving you top 5. I started top 5 in my blog 61. So that is 15 vlogs ago. I already gave you 15 top 5 lists, some interesting stuff there. But there's some stuff that couldn't make the list, and I want to now make 5 of those that didn't make the list, but should be on a list for sure. The first top 5 was about poker rulings in poker rooms that managers make, usually dumb stuff. Here's the most dumb, and I don't know, this slipped my mind because it was so long ago I didn't remember it, but this should be my number 1 of all times. In 2007 I went to Aruba. There's a couple poker rooms there, but I mostly play at one called Excelsior, and it's, I think, in Holiday Inn Hotel or something like that. But managers were so nice. Manager of the room was a woman from Brazil. Really nice. She loved me. She gave me some gifts when I was leaving after 10 days. I was there every day. Her assistant, I forgot his name, really nice guy. Once didn't have enough money, so I asked him, can you keep my seat? I need to get taxi to go to hotel, get more money. He goes, don't call taxi, use my car, here's the keys. What? Aruba is a small island, 19 miles long, 6 wide. Where am I gonna go with his car? And he just said, just don't kill anybody. Gave me his car without even knowing my name. Amazing people. I love them. There was one day no poker game, so I played a tournament. They have some weird rules. Because of people monkeying around a lot, they made the rule, if you say all in, you even don't have cards, your all chips go in the pot. That's the rule. Another rule was there, you have to be sitting in a chair while playing. So you cannot play a hand if you were not in a chair when the cards come. In the middle of the tournament they have a break, and then they serve free pizza, sandwiches and stuff. So I'm standing by the table, by my chair. Actually I was with my left knee on the chair. I have greasy hand with pizza, holding a napkin in my other hand and just waiting, to swallow that, wipe my hand. Didn't want to sit, with the greasy hand. And that moment dealer dealt the hand, I swallowed the last bite and sit down. I pocket aces. Flop was ace, king, king. I managed to go all in with the guy. He shows ace, king. Says I have aces full of kings. I take him out. And then when he was leaving, he said to a dealer, he even shouldn't be in a hand. He wasn't sitting in a chair. And then the whole table started discussing that. Yeah, he was not sitting. The manager comes, that woman, I forgot her name, but really lovely person. She said, we have to review the tape. Can you imagine reviewing a tape for something like that after the hand was over? The point is, the hand is over. I don't care about their rules. Did I break it or not? The hand is over. They review the tapes. The whole tournament stops. And then she comes back, sorry, but you were not in a hand. So they give him his chips back. It was almost impossible to reconstruct the amounts, but about it. After the hand was over, how stupid can that be? Number 2, recently I talked about freedom. And we even see today what's happening with our freedoms. You cannot open the church for service for your church members, but strip bars can be open and similar nonsense. My example is not this. My example is women in Arab countries, let's say Iran. I remember Iran and Tehran, the capital city, in 1974. The city, while Shah Reza Pahlavi was alive, celebrating 6,000 years of Persian Empire, the city was full of young girls in mini skirts. Try to find one today in mini skirt in Iran. They all have, by the law, Sharia law, to wear that black robe, sheets, hijab, not to show their hair, skin or anything, just the eyes. That's the law. How would you like to live in that country? Now, look at this insanity. This was about probably 6-7 years ago in France. After some Muslim bombing, killing, beheading, whatever, they made a law in France, that women, never mind on your religion or country of origin or anything, cannot wear hijab. And the explanation was, it can be terrorists with machine gun below it and you don't see it, it's covered. Think about this. In Iran, they have to wear it. it's the law. In France, the Western country, so-called democracy, you cannot wear it. It's the law. That much about your freedom. Number 3, we talked in one of the videos about guitar players, and there was more than 5. One that everybody lists as number 1, numero uno, Jimi Hendrix, born in Seattle, Washington, and there's a museum, Hendrix Museum over there. I think it was Eric Johnson, who's a great guitar player, great technician. He said, I can play any Hendrix song, I can play it note for note. I can play it note for note. He's that good. And that's not the problem. Problem is understanding why Hendrix did it the way he did it. Can you imagine that? So Hendrix was innovator at that moment, start using pedals. So it's not hard to play Hendrix songs. Today, well, not this year because of Corona, but I saw it twice. There's a guitar tour called Experience Hendrix, and it's people like Kenny Wade Shepherd, Johnny Lang, Buddy Guy, everybody, all big names. They usually have like 10 to 15 guitar players, and they just change each of them 2-3 songs, and mostly the best part is when Kenny Wayne Shepherd does the Voodoo Child. If you, after Corona, when the concert starts again, if you find Experience Hendrix Tour, please go to see it. All today's top guitar players are there, all of them. I read an interview with Jimi Hendrix. He was brought by Chess Chandler, who was a member of Eric Burdon's Animals, and then he actually became Jimmy's manager. So he brought him to England, set him up, and that's how we heard about Hendrix. These were all other young guys, like the early 20s, but Jimmy was then like 40 years old. He was not young. He was experienced musician. And in that one interview, he said how he was amazed with Stevie Winwood. Stevie Winwood was 14 years old and writing songs, playing Hammond organ, guitar, singing, giving that sound special soul, R&B voice. So Jimmy was impressed with him, and he said, I wanted to jam with Stevie so bad. Twice I pick up my phone, I'll dial the number, telephone rings, and I hang up. Jimi Hendrix was afraid to ask Stevie Winwood to jam. Wow. Stevie Winwood, 14-year-old, living God on earth and playing guitar. Number 4, I mentioned in one video 5 albums that I listen over and over for the last 50 years, since 1960 something, One that didn't make the list, and I really lately listen even more than any of those that are on the list. It's Beatles' White Album. It's collection of amazing songs, so different, like Year Blues, and then Julia. I mean, John Lennon was at that moment really changing a lot. John Lennon on that album was amazing. And number 5, just a couple of videos ago I talked about my favorite chess players, and one of them was Bobby Fischer. Bobby Fischer was probably certified crazy, and if you don't know his biography and life, you should at least read it on Wikipedia, because it is so interesting. He was really young, and he was like 20, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 years old, and he played with Spassky, Boris Spassky, Russian player. He played the chess championship in 1972 for the world champion, and he beat him. But I remember that we had that every day. They were showing some of our grandmasters showing the game on that they played on a board and on TV. The game was played in Reykjavik, Iceland. But before that, Bobby Fischer was demanding to be played in Belgrade, Yugoslavia, or he's not gonna play. Well, finally, then there was like, let's split, like half of the match in Belgrade, half in Iceland. So that was one of the problems he created. Then during the match, suddenly he's not gonna play if they don't move it to a different room. And he didn't show up for the game. He just didn't show up for the game. Then they moved the match in that room that he wanted, and Spassky, nobody asks him anything. Now Bobby Fischer demands some special chair. or he's not gonna play. Chair is bothering him. How can then Spassky do this? I cannot do that. Whatever. He was just having demands and really misbehaving. They gave him everything he wanted. He won that championship. 3 years later, in '75, he has to defend the title against Anatoly Karpov, who was really young and maybe even in a position at that moment so good, maybe even to beat Fischer. But again, Fischer started making demands about we're gonna play only 36 games. If it's 9-9, he keeps the title. To win the title, Karpov has to win 10 games or whatever. They gave him almost everything. And at the end, he still didn't want to play. Didn't show up for the match, forfeited the title. That's when, mucho loco. And then he quit playing chess, 29 years old. He quit playing chess. Actually, in 1991, the war started in my country, Yugoslavia. In 1992, they invented the rematch with Boris Spassky. So they're going to play in Belgrade. Well, problem was, in June 1992, America put economic sanctions on Yugoslavia because of the war. So no business, no nothing. Well, Fischer wouldn't be Fischer if he obeys the rules, so he goes and played the match. They played on Adriatic coast, and Department of Justice announced that he's in violation on that, and that's some kind of criminal act, revoke his passport. He finished that match there, but then couldn't come back to US because he's gonna be arrested. So he went to Japan, and actually he lived in different foreign countries, and finally in Japan police arrested him because his American passport was not valid anymore. There's a movie, you can find it on YouTube, Me and Bobby Fischer. The guy who was in '72, his bodyguard in Reykjavik, he's from Iceland. Fischer didn't have anybody. He called that guy. Can you imagine? Because they became like kind of buddies, and Fischer even brought him to America. He spent a year somewhere with him in Santa Monica or wherever he lived. Fischer called that guy, and that guy made the documentary. So look it on YouTube. Me and Bobby Fischer. It explains all that Japanese episode. Finally, that guy helped get him out of jail in Japan. Iceland gave him a passport. He went to Iceland and 4 years later died, and he is buried there, 2008. Mucho loco, but such a great talent. Well, that's my updated stuff for top 5 list. Now, I think they're gonna call my name pretty soon. I'm second on the list, so I'm gonna go do some damage on the felt. Wish me good luck. Adios.